If you live in the United States, especially in the Midwest, you've probably heard the name Delphi. And if you haven't, this story will stay with you forever. In February of 2017, two 8th grade girls, Abby Williams and Libby German, went for a hike on a quiet trail in Delphi, Indiana. They were best friends, inseparable, spending their day off school like any kids would. But that afternoon turned into one of the most haunting mysteries in modern true crime. Because when someone approached them, Libby did something brave, something that would later define the entire case. She hit record on her phone. The small piece of evidence she captured would become a national phenomenon, one of the most analyzed audio clips in FBI history. This is the full story of the Delphi Murders. A case filled with strange twists, missed clues, hidden trails, years of silence, and a community that refuses to give up. Delphi, Indiana is the kind of town you blink and miss on a road trip. Population, around 3,000 people. Everyone knows everyone. Kids ride bikes through neighborhoods, people walk their dogs on the same streets every afternoon, and the town square hosts small festivals and parades. It's peaceful. Safe. The kind of place where people say, nothing bad ever happens here. But Delphi has one landmark most people outside of Indiana had never heard of before 2017, the Monon High Bridge. This old, abandoned railroad bridge was originally built in the late 1800s. It stretches high across a wooded valley, with planks missing in places, and it towers above a creek. Despite being slightly dangerous, it's a favorite photo spot for teens and hikers. Abby and Libby loved taking pictures there. They were artistic, adventurous, and loved the outdoors. So on February 13, 2017, an unseasonably warm midwinter day, they asked if they could go hiking. And their families said yes. Why wouldn't they? It was Delphi. Safe, quiet Delphi. No one could have predicted what was waiting out there. It was a Monday, but schools were closed for a staff development day. A 3-day weekend. Abby had stayed the night at Libby's house. That morning, the girls got ready, hung around the house, and eventually asked Libby's older sister Kelsey if she could drop them off at the trail. Kelsey agreed. They arrived at the entrance around 1 p.m. Kelsey watched the girls walk toward the bridge before driving away. This would later become one of the most heartbreaking moments of her life, being the last family member to see them. Once on the trail, the girls walked, joked, and explored. Libby captured photos and videos. At 2:07 p.m., Libby snapped a photo that would end up everywhere in the news, Abby crossing the Monon High Bridge, hands in jacket pockets, carefully stepping across the worn planks. This photo was the last time the world saw the girls alive. Somewhere between that moment and roughly 2:15 or 2:20 p.m. Something changed. Witnesses on the trail later reported seeing a man walking alone on the bridge around this time frame. This man would become the center of the entire investigation. The Monon High Bridge is narrow. There is no way to pass someone without acknowledging them. And sometime after the 2:07 p.m. photo, the girls encountered a man walking toward them. We don't know what was said. We don't know the exact moment they became uncomfortable. What we do know is that Libby, only 14 years old, had incredibly quick instincts. She quietly opened the camera app on her phone and hit record. No one knows exactly what made her do it, but that decision is the reason we know as much as we do today. On her phone, she captured a video clip of the man walking toward them. A short audio clip that would soon become one of the most analyzed soundbites in true crime history. In the audio, the man says just a few words. "Guys, down the hill." That sentence alone sent chills through millions of people. And it's because of Libby that the world now knows that voice. It is impossible to overstate how courageous that was. Most adults wouldn't think to record in that moment. But she did. When the girls didn't show up to be picked up at the end of the hike, their families immediately worried. This wasn't like them. By early evening, dozens of volunteers were searching the wooded trails with flashlights. Local police joined in. It turned into one of the largest community searches in the town's history. But as night fell, the situation grew more worrying. The trails were dark, cold, and difficult to navigate. Still, the community refused to go home. The next morning, February 14th, searchers discovered the girls not far from the bridge area. The discovery shattered the town. And almost immediately, the investigation took on nationwide urgency. A few days later, police revealed something no one expected. Libby had recorded part of her encounter. The video and audio she captured became the cornerstone of the case. Police released a blurry video of the man walking on the bridge. The audio snippet, "Guys, down the hill." This was unprecedented. There are very few cases where the victims themselves provide direct evidence. Millions of people listened to that recording over and over again. People tried pitch shifting, slowing down, cleaning up noise, hoping to identify the voice. Some believed the man sounded older. Others thought he sounded like someone in his 30s or 40s. The video became just as iconic. A man wearing a blue jacket, jeans, a hoodie, and what looked like a hat. Both hands in pockets. A particular way of walking that many people described as distinctive. Immediately, the public had theories. But in a case like this, theories are both helpful and dangerous. Over time, multiple sketches were released. Sketch 1, 2017. Based on early witness accounts, the first sketch depicted a middle-aged man with a goatee, heavier build, wearing a cap. For years, this was the face associated with the case. Sketch number 2, 2019. 2 years later, police released a drastically different sketch, this time of a much younger-looking man. The shift confused the public. Police clarified that both sketches were important, but the newer one reflected updated information. This led to a wave of new theories. Was the suspect local? Did he know the trails? Did he blend into the community? Was he someone who had passed through town before? In such a small town, locals were on edge. People whispered about neighbors, co-workers, strangers seen around the trails. Anyone who resembled the sketches or had a similar voice was suddenly scrutinized. But despite thousands of tips, no solid suspect emerged publicly. For 5 years, the case remained open and active. Police repeatedly said they were not close to giving up. They searched rivers, forests, vacant homes, local properties. They re-interviewed witnesses. They received thousands of tips per year. Multiple law enforcement agencies participated, including Indiana State Police, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, FBI agents. From the outside, though, it looked like nothing was happening. Family members grew frustrated with the online speculation, rumors, and amateur detective theories. But behind the scenes, investigators were quietly building a case. In October 2022, news broke that stunned the true crime world. Police arrested Richard Allen, a 50-year-old resident of Delphi. He worked at the local CVS, the pharmacy where many residents had their photos developed. He lived just minutes away from the bridge. He had no major criminal record. According to court documents, Allen admitted that he was on the Monon High Bridge trail the day the girls disappeared. Investigators say forensic evidence and witness statements connect him to the scene. However, many details remain sealed or heavily redacted due to the ongoing legal process. Allen has pleaded not guilty. His defense team has presented alternative theories, and the case has become increasingly complicated legally. As of today, the case is still moving through the courts. There is no final verdict. The Delphi community has carried this loss for years. Memorials were set up for the girls. Vigils were held. Butterfly symbols, Abby's favorite, are placed around the town. Their families created foundations focusing on kindness, safety, and empowerment for young people. And every February, the town gathers to remember the girls, not for the tragedy, but for their personalities, their art, their humor, and their courage. Especially Libby's courage in recording what she did. The Delphi case changed true crime forever. It showed the power of a single moment of bravery. It showed how resilient a small community can be. And it showed that even in a peaceful town, danger can hide in plain sight. But it also sparked important conversations about safety. Hiking with friends. Knowing trail conditions. Trusting instincts. Using technology when something feels wrong. The world will never forget the audio clip. And it will never forget the photo taken at 2:07 p.m., Abby walking across the bridge, unaware of what was about to happen. The Delphi murders remain one of the most heartbreaking modern cases in America. But it's also a story about extraordinary courage, shown by two girls who simply went for a hike one day. Libby's recording changed everything. It gave investigators something to work with. And it continues to guide the search for answers. We still don't know every detail. We may not know them for a while. But what we do know is this. Abby and Libby will never be forgotten.